Hello, dear students. Welcome again. In this presentation, we're going to cover Unit 2, which is Global Marketing. The grammar to study, it's about simple past versus past continuous, okay? So we're going to make a quick review of these two tenses. Before we start, I want to show you a quote of a famous person. Steve Jobs said, "We worked hard, and in 10 years Apple had grown from just the two of us in a garage into a 2 billion company with over 4,000 employees." So, why did I bring this quote? Well, since we're talking about global marketing, right, it's important to know that the strategies that companies and famous brands use to be popular around the world, that is part of global marketing, like this famous brand, which is Apple. Okay, now let's continue with the following. I wanted to look at the picture that we have over there. We see there's some friends, maybe they are eating, they are having a great time together, they are talking and laughing. Well, let's see. Past continuous versus simple past. It's important to remember that the past continuous expresses an action that continued or that was in progress for some time in the past. While the simple past is used for actions that are or that were completed in the past. Let's see some examples. According to the picture, we can say that they were having a great time. This action was in progress, having. We can also use simple past. They had a great time, and it's possible. They ate delicious food, or they were eating delicious food. Both of them can be correct. It will depend on how you want to express the actions or the events. Now, to express an action that happened at a certain time while another action was already happening or that was already in progress, we are going to use these two tenses. For example, they were eating, this action or this event was in progress. Now, when the waiter came to the table, we can say that this action was, let's say that interrupted the other action that was already in progress. Okay, let's continue with the following. Remember that with the simple past, we can use some words or phrases, okay, that can help us to express the order of the events, which happened first and which happened second. These words or phrases are like after, as soon as, before, once, until, and when. For example, we found out that the ad was an appropriate word for consumers when we were doing research on the market. So this action happened first, or this event happened first, and then we found out the following. Now, very important. If you start a sentence with these phrases or any of these words, you need to write a comma in the middle to separate the clauses. Remember that clauses are sentences, and sentences, they need a subject, a verb, and a complement, okay? But when the word or the phrase is in the middle, no comma is needed. When do we use the word after? We're going to use it to introduce the first event. Here we have an example. After the store opened, comma, people didn't buy the dolls. So this is the first event. After this happened, then the second event was possible. Before, we're going to use it to introduce the second event. The company worked with an advertising team before it marketed the shampoo. Before is showing us the second event. As soon as or once is used to introduce the first event. when the second event happens immediately after. Until means up to that time, and use when to introduce the first event. When it means that the events happened at almost the same time. Let's see some examples. The first one, he was driving when the police officer stopped him. This action was in progress, and this other action interrupted that action. After the officer stopped him, he got a ticket. The second one, she stopped doing her homework as soon as, right in the moment, she listened to her favorite song. They were walking while they were recording a video blog. In this case, we are using the word while to express that both actions were happening at the same time. Okay, so now it's time for you to practice. Okay, you can pause the video in this moment so you can take your time to complete the following exercise. I want you to read the statements and try to choose the best option, okay? Then you can check your answers, okay, with the answers that I will show you in the moment, okay? Make a pause in this moment and take your time. Okay, now you can check your answers. If you have them like this, they are correct. Great job. Okay, now let's continue with the following. So, if we use simple past and past progressive with the words while and when, we're going to use them to talk about that an event was in progress. It was the ongoing event. For example, the past progressive describes the ongoing event, and we can use while or when to introduce that action. While we were developing an advertising campaign, what was the interruption? I got sick. The simple past interrupted the longer action or the action that was in progress. We can use when to describe the interruption. And remember that we can use past progressive in both clauses when we talk about that both actions were in progress at the same time. So in this case, we can say while they were studying, they were developing. Both actions were happening at the same time. Now, we have another practice for you. So I want you to please, before we start with that exercise, let's see here some other examples. So remember, we're talking about a longer action, which is in the past, that is going to be past progressive. But when this action is interrupted by a shorter action, we're going to use simple past. And don't forget that we can use words like when, while, and many more. For example, take a look at the pictures that I have over here. This couple is running in the park, right? They are talking, they are laughing, they are jogging. So I can say that they were jogging while they were talking. The two actions were in progress. Now, in the second picture, we see the opposite, right? They are walking, but under the rain. So I can say that they were jogging at the park when it started raining. So this action interrupted the longer action, the action that was already in progress. Okay, now, yes, it's time for you to continue practicing. I want you to try to complete the sentences with the past continuous or simple past. Please don't forget to pause the video because later I will show you the answers so you can check with your own. Okay? Don't forget that you have here the verbs, right? So you have to decide, okay? And here you have the phrases. You need to decide if you're going to use simple past or past progressive. Okay? Pause the video and take your time. Okay, now you can check your answers. If you have them, like the following, you are right, okay? You did a great job, students. So, after practicing, studying, and making a quick review of these tenses, I invite you to continue practicing with the rest of the activities, okay? Thank you very much.